So I'm making YouTube video reviews because nobody seems to read Indeed reviews anymore or Google reviews. It doesn't really affect a company. So I'm leaving a YouTube video review. Hopefully people can see it. My one viewer I have a year. And so I'm going to start off with when I first started. So I was supposed to be hired in as a apprentice CNC operator. After 5 years of training, I was supposed to be a full-on operator and code machines and all that. So after a month straight working there, I didn't receive any book or anything, or I didn't even see anybody being trained to do anything. Now there's 8 or 10 of us apprentices working there, and not once did I ever open up my book and learn anything in my 5 or 6 months of working there. I wasn't ever trained to do anything. Now the person who's supposed to be teaching us how to be a full-on coder operator was supposed to be retiring for the past 7 years. He was barely even there. He sometimes came in and worked 3 days a week, and when he was there, he sat in his office all day, walked around chatting people up, writing the clock out. That was my first red flag. Now, my second red flag I saw was when I walked around, I saw a specific person working 2 machines at once. Running the same part, working 2 machines. Now, he sat there on his phone, literally sitting there on his phone at his desk. He'd let both his machines sit, the workload piling up, and wait for second shift to come in and do his work for him. There's no sort of consequences or anything. So, and the third red flag I saw was the fact that I had previous experience with most of the stuff there. I knew how to read blueprints. I knew how to use the measuring tools, except for the micrometer. I knew how to use calipers and depth gauges and all that other crap. I already knew all that. But I was still paid the same minimum freaking pay wage that they hire people in for. Kind of pissed me off. But again, I didn't say anything. And so the layover rate, which was the fourth red flag, the layover rate's pretty high. People would just up and quit because they thought their job was too hard. Now, when someone did on second, since I was supposed to be moving to second, someone up and quit in second, I went up and showed an initiative and asked one of my bosses if they could, have me moved over there and I'd be able to learn that machine. And this machine happened to be the same exact machine that the first shift dude would let pile up and wait till second came in to fix. So I was going to be working the same machine on second that dude was working on first. So I set myself up for failure now that I see. Because, I came into work most days and happened to load the machines. He let them sit there. Somehow no one would say anything. No one would ask him why he wasn't loading them. No one would question it. And because one of the machines was broken, one of the machines leaked coolant all over the floor all the time, he'd never clean it up. He'd never do anything about it. I'd always come in and see the rubber mat kicked over it and cover it all up with the rubber mat. There was a tub underneath it that collected coolant, and I'd have to vacuum it all out every freaking week, sometimes twice a week, because the dude refused to do anything at all. I remember one day I came into work, the same day that my boss left, one of my bosses left for vacation, the beginning of this year. This dude was sitting there eating his lunch at 3 o'clock, both machines ready to be loaded, and the, coolant was all over the floor. The tub underneath the machine was spewing out the coolant all over the floor. The dude ran out the freaking back door, as usual. And, again, No consequences whatsoever for any of the stuff. Nothing. Nobody cared. And that's why I'm making these videos now. So hopefully someone will see it and something will be done. Because nobody cared. And so I decided to test my limits again on second shift because we had a new guy come in. And so while I was working on first, someone fell asleep on second shift and we all had our chairs taken away and everybody got punished. So I was under the assumption that sleeping was bad at work, which I already knew. You're not supposed to sleep on your job. I already knew. And so we had a new person come in. His name was K. Well, that's the beginning of his name. He was 19, and from the first time we saw him sleeping at his desk at 5:30, I had waited 40 minutes until I let my coworkers know, since nobody seemed to give a crap. I went over there and let my coworkers know that he was straight up sleeping over there. And nothing was done. They didn't even give him a warning. Only my coworkers knew about this. So I took a picture because of how fed up it made me. How much respect I lost for my own generation. People my age are just so unrespectable. I took a picture, you know, just so I could show my bosses in case of this, in case of this came up again. I never actually used it. Anyways, um, yeah, right here in the middle of the freaking workshop, no one said anything to the suit at all and didn't move for 45 minutes about. Anyways, that happened multiple times. Except after after my coworkers told him about it. And after my supervisors would leave at 7 because second shift has no supervision. The dude will get up out of his seat, walk into a dark office, a dark quality control office, since quality wasn't there anymore during that time. And he'd sit there in the office on his phone or sleeping or doing who knows what. He'd do that practically every day. And so, I mean, I tested my limits out. I decided to finally. Wednesday, because he fell asleep again this week on Tuesday, 4:30 in the afternoon when everybody was still there. He fell asleep. And I decided to go and let my bosses know this time since, I mean, it's been how many times now he's fallen asleep, and one of these times we're all going to get in trouble again. So I told them nothing was done, nobody cared, like usual. So Thursday, I wanted to change my mentality. I was acting too serious. I was taking my job too seriously. I mean, seemed like nobody cared. So I decided, in between my machines, after inspecting them and catching up on all my work, I decided to go find a hidey hole underneath the stairs and take a nap underneath it, out of the way of the cameras and everything. But, I mean, I guess they found me, or someone tattled on me. They called me into the office after I came to work today at 4 and asked me if I had any reason why for my bad behavior yesterday. I didn't know what they were talking about because I thought they didn't care. They asked me what I was doing around the steps yesterday between 6:20 to 6:55. I straight up told them I was napping. I mean, it's not the person I am. I'm not going to lie to their faces. Obviously, they know something. So I told them. They immediately fired me without any questions asked or anything. No warning given. Nothing. That's how they treat a worker who came into work 60 hours a week, 6 days a week, said hi to everybody, waved to them, was nice, showed initiative. I had a lot of promise. I liked that job, but I was let go. I thought it was super unfair because, I mean, why didn't I receive a warning? I mean, they really cared about it that much. I guess they don't. And then again, that's why their layover rate is so high, I guess, because they let people like that keep working there. And it brings other people's work ethic down, like mine did. It's just so irritating. Why wasn't I given another chance? I thought they didn't care. When that dude fell asleep on Wednesday at 4:30, I got up and walked in front of the cameras and did a little wave and pointed it out. And nothing happened. They made an example out of somebody who didn't need to be made an example out of. What? Why'd they need to make an example out of me for? Oh, you like working here and um, you you do your best and you come into work as much as you need to. You're fired because you were found sleeping on the job. Um, thanks, I guess. I mean, at least I was courteous and decided to take a nap out of people's view. I wasn't there in the middle of the building in front of 3 cameras sleeping. And after 7 o'clock, he come over here and plug in his phone charger on this outlet right here. And as you can see right here in this picture while he's sleeping, he's got his phone out right in front of him. Right in front of him. He sometimes eats. And on Wednesday when he fell asleep, Dennis, I had a coworker right here. There's a guy right next to him that works that machine. And the supervisor, who I thought was a supervisor at the time, Dennis, came over here and walked right next to him, was talking to Brandon, while the dude was hunched over, just like this, for another 40 minutes. Nothing was done. Nothing. The dude didn't even see him. It's like my supervisors walk around and they're fucking blind. But I mean, let's go make a show of force. It seems about time, right? I mean, maybe I should have went to those dark offices and slept with the dude. I don't even know. Maybe I should have sat in the bathroom and went taking a dump like most people do after they get to work and spent 40 minutes in the bathroom instead. It's just so irritating. Losing a job like that. I'm over here living on my own. It's not like I live with my dang parents. They literally don't do crap. There's so many problems with that place. You just gotta look up these reviews and read them. I at least have the courtesy to thank them for their time and stuff, and like, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for straight up firing me without a warning. Wow, thanks. Thanks for being honest with me, dude, and telling me that you were napping on the stairs. I'm gonna go let this kid keep sleeping though in the middle of the building while people are clearly still here and our supervisors are out walking around. I guess there's a reason why I was fired from my job. I've already applied for 12 on Indeed, 12 jobs that are paying me $4 more an hour and that are within 10 minutes of my job, within 10 minutes of my house. I've applied for 12 of them, pay me way more. It's just so irritating the fact that I always leave places like this and no one ever knows what's wrong with them. These management just keep thinking that the problem is their workers. No, the management, the problem is you. You're the dang problem. The reason for your workplace failing is your own fault. Poor management. No, more like no supervision at all. I'm pretty sure the only reason they found me out is because one of my coworkers decided to go and tattle on me. Meanwhile, this guy can just sit over there and sleep so many times. No one says anything. No one cares. And when I brought up to the fact that first shift dude who's running my machines is leaving my place like a shit show, nothing is done. Actually, when I brought it up to my boss, let's just call him Jay. Um, Jay made the excuse that people just have bad days. It's okay. He'll be better tomorrow. Well, this dude left his machine waiting to be loaded and coolant everywhere on the floor, like more than half the week. But I mean, people just have bad days, you know. That why didn't they just? If people just have bad days, why didn't they just chalk it up to a bad day with me? Is the first time I was fucking taking a nap. The first time I decided to test my limits, I'm fucking fired. Are you serious? But you'll make that excuse for people over there like that. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, let's make a show out of force out of this dude who's trying to make this place a better environment, a better culture, a better work community. No, let's fucking fire him. You guys can keep sleeping. You guys can just keep leaving your machines to be waiting to be loaded for the next shift. Just so irritating.